Welcome to Superpower Reviews. My name is Liam Smith. Today we're going to be looking at the DC Collectibles Bombshell Raven statue. Alright, and the first thing we'll do as always is take a look at the box. Have a close-up image of the Raven statue from DC Bombshells, created of course by DC Collectibles. Flipping around to the side of the box, have a rendering of the statue, what the full statue would look like, showing you who it's made by. It is designed by Aunt Lucia and sculpted by Tim Miller. Flipping around to the opposite side of the box, you have another close-up image of the statue stating that it is a numbered limited edition, and as you can see on the bottom of the box, this one is 1634 out of 5200. Okay, now flipping around to the back side of the box, I have a couple images of other statues in the Bombshell line. The Bombshell Halloween Batgirl, actually have that as a previous review. You can check that out on the channel. Also have the Bombshell Bumblebee as well. Okay, as far as the packaging, DC Collectibles is really good about making sure they're packaged really well. It even labels the foam packaging as top and bottom. That way you don't open it upside down and let the statue fall out. They also house the base separately in this front pocket here, which I will cut out and show you that in just a moment. And like I mentioned before, just like all the Bombshell statues, there's a compartment in the front of the styrofoam that houses the base, which is the standard base that all the Bombshell statues come with. Then you have the Bombshell statue itself housed safely inside the styrofoam. Have the magnetic nameplate at the top here, wrapped in plastic, keeps it nice and safe. Let me go ahead and get this out of the box and we'll take a closer look at that. Okay, so before I put it on the base, I want to show you how it actually attaches. This one's a little bit unique because once it's together, it gives the illusion that she's floating in the air, and that is due to the two peg holes that are on the base and the two metal pegs at the bottom of her cape. So once that's attached, she's not touching the base at all, it's just the cape. So the way that works is you have one larger metal peg right here, a smaller metal peg right there, and they just simply attach into the two holes like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the details of the statue starting at the top. First thing we'll talk about is the head sculpt and the face sculpt. I'm really liking what they did here. First thing I noticed that stands out to me is the vivid colors they put into the paint apps on the face. If you look closely at the eyes, there's a purple shadow, some very fine lashes, and the red iris on the eyes. All of it really stands out, but it's very tiny, but done really well. I see no spillover from the red eyes into the white part of the eyes. Everything seems to be done really well. I also want to mention they did a really great job with the skin tones on this. They gave it a nice matte finish. It's not too shiny, has some subtle shading around the cheekbones, around certain areas where you would see shadows. Really good job on that, very realistic skin tone to it. Now moving a little further down, I was talking about the paint work on the suit. Very impressive with the line work on this. I talk about details a lot, and this is no exception for that. The matte purple has the very fine sculpted blue lines with the blue paint inside the lines. Absolutely no spillover. I see zero flaws on the paint so far whatsoever. Now moving a little further down to the legs, this is a mixed media they have on here. They did not just paint this or sculpt this. This is an actual fishnet material pulled over the sculpt of the legs and attached at the top right here. That was a really nice touch because they could have just painted that on really quick, but it gives it a very realistic look this way. It gives it something a little extra that a lot of statues don't have. Now if we spin around to the back of the statue, this is done really well too. This is that paint job I was talking about. Two different colors here. You have the purple and you have a light blue. Both have a very subtle metallic in it. The purple has a blue metallic in it, and the blue part of the cape has a slightly silver metallic speck in it. They did a really great job with the hood, the sculpting on that. It looks like it drapes down naturally. All the folds in the cape, all the folds in the hood. Done really well. Now moving on up to the hair again, I want to mention they did really good job on the sculpt on this. Lots of detail between the locks of the hair, not a whole lot of shading to speak of in between, but I know they're going for just a straight jet black look that Raven would have. Now spinning around to the side, you can see the left hand has the spell casting happening in the translucent PVC. They did a really great job on that. The sculpt is really detailed. I love that they gave it the glossy, like I said, translucent look to it. You can actually see her hand inside of the spell cast. That's very cool. Now one of the main things I want to mention here is the pose. Very original. I love the way they have her floating in the air. They use the cape with the pegs in it to put her on the stand, but once it's mounted, as you can see, it just looks like she's floating, and I really love that look. I definitely have to take a moment to mention this cape again. After looking over the statue in detail, the cape to me is super impressive. I love that they have the two different tones, the purple fading into the blue, and the fact that the blue is translucent. You can actually see through that there. Very subtle, sparkly, glittery look that they gave to it. It's not overkill, it's not too much. It's very subtle, but when the light hits it just right, you can see the metallic, glittery look that it has. They really did an awesome job on that. Like I said, I haven't seen one like this before. Okay, so now is the time to go ahead and scan around the statue, give you some close-up, some better detail into the DC Collectibles Bombshell Raven. Okay, that's going to wrap it up for this review of the DC Collectibles Bombshell Raven statue. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, that way you won't miss any of our upcoming content. And as always, I'll see you on the next video.